What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Married to Medicine Season 9, Episode 1. Married to Medicine is one of my favorite shows because these are real doctors, real who are doing real things. They have real jobs, real patients, work in real hospitals. They have real practices. It's not people who are opening and closing up, boutiques every 6 months with only six items hanging off the racks. It's not people trying to sell wigs, trying to sell skincare, trying to sell lip gloss or whatever. I love Married to Medicine because these are people with real careers. Their careers are not reality TV. They're doctors. They have real jobs. If they pull the plug on Bravo tonight, they will still be making money. It's all good. So I love Married to Medicine. So we started off with Simone and Jackie. Last season, Simone and Jackie, and the season before too, I think, were kind of struggling with their friendship because I think it's because of Heavenly. Heavenly got in between them. Heavenly and Simone's husband, got into it on social media. Heavenly and Simone got into it. And so this caused a rift between Simone and Dr. Jackie. And I think because I don't know why Jackie gravitated towards Heavenly. I don't understand because that is a very strange friendship. And I don't understand why Jackie would allow Heavenly to come in between her friendship with Simone. Because at the reunion, I don't know if it was last year's reunion or the year before, I don't remember. It was like Dr. Jackie wasn't even trying to fight for her friendship with Simone. Like she would rather just be friends with Heavenly. That was so bizarre to me. So Simone and Dr. Jackie claim that they are now in a very good place. It's been 2 years since they've been able to like really reconnect as friends. And they were able to patch things up because they both realized that they both had to work on their friendship. They both had to put in the work. And Simone says that Jackie needed to be she needed to knock down her ego and pride a couple of notches. And I'm thinking to myself, well, what did you do, Simone? If Jackie had to bring down her pride and her ego, what did you have to bring down? But she didn't talk about that. Moving on from there, Heavenly. So we are at Dr. Heavenly's house. We see her daughter, Alora. Alora is very, very pretty. She's 16 years old now, and Heavenly opened up her own beauty supply store, and it seems like Alora is very hands-on with the beauty supply store, and she's helping her mother run the store. And then Alora was gifted a Range Rover for her birthday, of course. If both of your parents are doctors, we expect nothing less. But she doesn't even know how to drive. So they gifted her this very beautiful, expensive vehicle, but she doesn't even know how to drive. So her dad is supposed to be teaching her how to drive. Quad comes over, and they talk about, Heavenly tells Quad about her friendship with Contessa. So after the reunion, Contessa and Heavenly had gotten really, really close. They were talking every single day. But we also know that Heavenly has a YouTube channel that she's very, very active on. I haven't yet seen it. So Heavenly was telling Quad that she doesn't understand. All of a sudden, Contessa just ghosted her. Contessa stopped talking to her, and she didn't know why the friendship ended. And it was really hard for Heavenly because they would talk every single day. And then when you have someone who's so close to you that y'all are talking every single day, and all of a sudden they're not there anymore, yeah, it can be a little bit, it can be like a shock to your system, and you don't know how to cope. So then they show us a little snippet of Dr. Contessa in her confessional saying that the reason why her and Heavenly stopped talking, or the reason why she stopped talking to Heavenly, was because Heavenly was on her YouTube channel talking about Contessa and Scott, like a dog. She was just dragging them. It was just horrible, the things that she was saying about Contessa and Scott. She said, Heavenly said on her YouTube channel that Contessa's marriage to Scott was fake. She said that Scott was emotionally and verbally abusive. So she said a lot of hurtful things about Contessa's marriage, and Contessa just wasn't going to put up with it. Now, Dr. Heavenly is one of those people, like, she reminds me every single time I see Dr. Heavenly, I'm reminded of that skit from the Dave Chappelle show when Keeping It Real goes wrong, because Dr. Heavenly thinks that it's her duty to keep things all the way real, to be 100% honest, to be very brutally honest, in your face kind of honesty. She thinks that that's her job to do that. And she thinks that it makes her more real. It makes her, like like maybe it gives people a reason to trust her because, oh my god, Dr. Heavenly, she keeps it real 100% of the time. She doesn't lie, she doesn't sugarcoat anything. She gives it to you raw and real, and she wears it like as a badge of honor. And it's just hurtful. I mean, it's a very fine line between knowing how to be honest with your friends when you need to be honest with them, and then just being hurtful, like very, very hurtful, and saying things that are just not necessary. Because if you don't believe in Contessa's marriage, if you think that it's a fake marriage, you need to think about your words, Heavenly. How does it sound for you to say my friend's marriage is fake? Like, how would you think she would feel about that? If that's how you feel, that's how you feel, but you don't have to verbalize it. So if the question on your YouTube channel, if one of your viewers ask you, do you think Contessa's marriage is fake? Maybe you need to kind of take a pause and think about your answer before you say anything. And it's like, well, no, they got married. They have a marriage license. It's a very real marriage. As far as the reasons why they got married, if you want to keep it all the way honest with them, Heavenly, just say, I'm not sure exactly why they got married, but this is a very real marriage. You don't have to say, no, her marriage is fake and her husband's abusive. That's just crazy. So then we find out that Quad, she bought a new house. She closed on her house, a very beautiful home. And she has just started the renovations of her house. And Dr. Heavenly suggested that, maybe she should use men for money to pay for her renovations. And Quad really wasn't keen on that. The whole thing about Heavenly and her. Heavenly, okay, let me just be honest. I don't really care for Heavenly. I never have. There's something about her. It's just, I don't know. I just don't care for Heavenly. And so her keeping it real thing, I'm not a fan of. And then her thing of, her ideas of marriage, her ideas of dating, to me are very archaic. And she's a dentist, she's a black female doctor. You would think that she would be a little bit more up to date with her way of thinking, but her way of thinking to me is just so backwards. But yeah, so she tells Quad, find a man to help pay for your renovations. And Quad was like, I don't want to use a man for money to pay for my renovations because I don't want him to feel like he's going to have some type of say so in what goes on in my home. And yeah, that just went over Quad's head. Moving on to Contessa. So when we see Contessa for the first time this season, she is training with her trainer, Abdul Omega Psi Phi. And Contessa tells us, after, I guess, the reunion, she was really serious about getting her divorce from Scott. She was moving forward, full steam ahead. So she had filed for divorce. She was talking to a realtor about selling her home. And I guess that was all too real for Scott because he was like, okay, Contessa's really doing this. And so he decided to go for counseling. That's what she had wanted him to do since day one. She had wanted him to go to couples counseling, and he kept on turning her down. So when he saw that she put in that paper and she was talking to a real estate agent, he realized, okay, things are about to get very real around here. So he told her, pump your brakes on the divorce and selling of the house. Let's just go to therapy. So he agreed to do that. They say that they are still having their disagreements or still having their arguments, but they're not fighting as viciously as they were before. They're fighting more fair now. And I want to see that. I want to see that in action. How do you fight fair? How do you go from fighting viciously to fighting fair? And I want to be the judge if there really is a difference. So the reason why Contessa is training with Abdul is because she wants to be in a fitness competition. Now, Contessa has a history of beauty pageant. She was Miss Missouri or something. So now she wants to do a fitness competition. So she's trying to get her body in shape to do all of that. Quad. So now we know. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I said this, but Quad's house was really beautiful. Quad now has custody, I think, of her 6-year-old nephew Mason. He is living with Quad, and so is her mother. We find out that last year her brother passed away from heart disease, and now she is going to be taking care of her nephew, and it's really, really sad. And there was a scene of Quad, her nephew, and her mother in the kitchen, and she was telling her nephew that the teacher had contacted her and told her that Mason is a very good student, but he does get distracted. And the little boy was just sitting there with his little bowl of cereal in front of him. He was just sitting there, and she could tell that his mind was on something. He was thinking about something. And so she asked him, what do you think about Mason? He says he's thinking about his dad. He says, I'm thinking about my dad. And he started crying. And so Quad gave him a hug, and then her mother started crying, and I almost started crying. It was a very sad scene. Her house is 14,000 square feet, 6 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms. Miss Quad, why do you need 9 bathrooms? Why do these houses have so many bathrooms? Now, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if she built this from the ground up, or I think she bought it already made. Yeah, she bought it already made, already built. Why do you need a house with 9 bathrooms when there's 3 people living in it? I don't understand that. I don't understand that. All that space for bathrooms, I would want that space to be utilized for my living room, my bedrooms, my backyard, and maybe, maybe my kitchen. I don't need 9 bathrooms. That's insane. So yeah, so Quad is taking care of. So Quad calls herself Monty, and I think on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, I think Marlo calls herself Monty because Marlo is also taking care of her 2 nephews. Well, not now because she kicked him out, but she did also have her nephews living with her, and I think she also called herself Monty. Moving on from there, Anila is back for a second season, y'all, and I'm not happy about it. I don't have anything against Anila. She doesn't bother me as much as Heavenly bothers me, but Anila to me is boring. There's nothing really going on with Anila. If she's not feuding with Toya or Contessa, ain't nothing going on with Anila. Anila to me, she seems awkward. I feel like she overcompensates a lot to try to fit in with the ladies. I think that her personality is borderline fake. I think that she comes on way too strong, and I need her to just chill and relax and step back a bit. I'm not crazy about Anila at all. So unfortunately, I think I like her husband more than I like her. So her new house is complete after 3 years. Their new home is finally built. They have moved in. It's a very beautiful home. Her husband says that he regrets building the house because it was way over budget. It cost them twice as much as the original budget. The original budget was 1.5 million. Final budget was 2.5 million. So it was twice as much. So they're doing a house blessing when we see Anila for the first time this season. They're doing a house blessing, and it's a traditional thing, I think, for their culture to bless a house. And one of the things that they need is a cow. So they bring a cow over, and I think they walk the cow through the house. And I was just like, wow, y'all have a lot of faith in this cow, because I would have been so worried that the cow would have tried to break free and run amok in my home or poop or pee in my home. So the cow did poop, but I don't think it was inside the home, or I think it was like outside the home or something. I don't know, but the cow did end up pooping. And then Anila was like, who's going to clean this up? And her mother was like, not me. Ask the cow lady to do it. The lady who brought the cow. So, moving on from there. So Anila, I'm not that crazy about Anila. I was not happy to see Anila back. I hope that she's a little bit more confident in who she is and where she stands on this show, and not try so hard like she did last year. She did the most last year. Moving on from that, we have Toya. Toya sold her dream house. She's living in a temp house because she's currently trying to build a new dream house. How many dreams do you have, Toya? How many dreams do you have? Can you please wake the hell up and stop with the dream houses? So she's building yet another dream house. She says that the old dream house really wasn't big enough for her and her husband and her kids. Okay, that house was humongous. What the hell do you mean it wasn't big enough? I think she wants to add like a basketball court, a tennis court, a movie theater. I have no idea. All this stuff that she wants to add. She says that the pool wasn't big enough in her old dream house for her and her kids and her husband. Y'all rarely went swimming. What are you talking about? It was only the kids. You didn't go in the water. Eugene didn't go in the water. It was just the kids that were playing in the pool. How big does it have to be? So Toya is going to drive Eugene, and I don't want to say this, I don't want to put this out there, but she's going to drive this man into an early grave. Okay, he's going to work himself to death with all the dream houses that she constantly wants to build. She is working this man to death. He's going to be in the middle of surgery. He's just going to completely conk out. He will never have time to rest. He'll never have time to enjoy, his home or anything, because he's never there, because he's always working to pay for these damn dream houses. And I don't even know. I don't think this man's going to have a chance to retire. Okay, because they build the dream house and they can't afford it. Then they got to sell that one and then try to build another one. It makes no sense to me. And then Toya has the audacity to say, I'm not attached to the house. It's not about the house for me. It's about the family. If it's about the family, then you can live in a regular 3,000 square foot home and be completely happy with that, as long as your family's with you. So Anila is and she invited Toya to her house, because Anila's going to have a housewarming party for her new home, and she invited Toya. And Toya tells Eugene that when she got the invitation, because Anila's son was hand delivering the invitations house to house, and she said that Anila stayed in the car while her son delivered the invitation to her. And Toya says, I'm only going because of her son, not because of her. So there's still some tension there, but they say that Anila and Toya are cordial, but there's still tension there. When Eugene came home from work, what is up with these housewives always filming in the kitchen? I want to see the living rooms, the bedrooms, the other space around, the other spaces in their homes. It's always in the damn kitchen. Is it because the lighting is better there? Like, why are we always in the kitchen? We're in the kitchen. We're in these empty kitchens where nobody cooks. Even when they order food, nobody eats. Why are we always in the kitchen? So when Eugene comes home, he comes home and Toya is screaming at the top of her lungs at her children. And Eugene is like, why are you always yelling? And then she says, oh, this is a black family. This is what we do. We yell. No, we don't, Toya. Stop with, no, we don't. No, you yell. Okay, you yell. You and Dr. Simone. Why are you yelling all the time? So I'm probably yelling too. Let me bring this down a bit. So Eugene is like, you don't have to be yelling all the time. And it's not a black thing. And then she says something like, oh, so you want a white wife? And then he says, is she more quiet than you? Anyways, moving on. So it is time for the Diwalis are celebrating Diwali, which is I think it's an Indian celebration, very similar to New Year's, and they're also doing their housewarming. Everybody arrives. Dr. Heavenly brings her friend Audra with her husband Martin. So I guess this might be the potential new housewife or a friend of the housewives. I don't know. Audra is a real estate attorney and her husband is a dentist. Unfortunately, Carrie is back and her blistered lips. I don't care for Carrie. She might have a couple of funny moments here and there, but I don't understand why she's always Carrie. If you're going to be on the show this damn much, just try to get a contract and be a part of the damn show. Like, I don't understand why you're always popping up, not really giving a lot and not really doing anything, but you always want to pop up. If you want to pop up, sign a damn contract and then really be part of the show, be part of the drama. So they're at the party, at the Diwali, people are mingling, and then Dr. Heavenly sees a woman talking to Dr. Damon. Once again, we have to suffer through Heavenly's fake jealousy of any female talking to her husband. And the reason why I say fake jealousy, I say that because I think in the very beginning, the very first time she did it, maybe she was kind of jealous. And I think because she got such a reaction from the audience, maybe they thought it was really, really funny or really, really cute or whatever. She got some type of a reaction from the audience. Now she keeps doing it. And I'm bored with that. Okay. We know Dr. Damien is not going anywhere. He's not going to do anything. Okay. Women are talking to him. He's talking back to them because this is what you call being civil. This is what you call socializing. So Heavenly, stop with this fake reaction of you being so jealous of seeing a woman talking to your husband and you trying to act like you're going out of pocket and who is she and why is she talking to my husband? Stop, Dr. Heavenly. I'm tired of that. It's old. It's boring. It's over. So contestants got show up. They're very late because now it's dark. It's dark, and they show up. And Contessa, we know that Contessa and I don't remember exactly why, but Contessa and Anila kind of have this bad blood. And I don't remember exactly why. There was some type of an argument that she had with Anila last season, and it got out of hand. And I forgot what it was about, but it has something to do with race. I wonder if it was because Anila was trying to compare being Indian, saying that it was similar to being black. I don't remember what it was, but it had something to do with race. Contessa feeling like Anila, even though she's a woman of color, she really doesn't understand the black experience, and she cannot even act like she understands what true racism is if you're not black in America. So I think that's what it was. If it's not, I apologize. So Contessa didn't feel like she had to wear any kind of traditional Indian garb or traditional Indian outfits because she doesn't like Anila. And she tells her husband, you can wear whatever the hell you want. You don't have to wear anything Indian. And I was like, that's kind of, I don't know. I think that if the invitation called for it and if that was an option, well, it doesn't matter. So Contessa shows up in an Egyptian outfit. It's like, okay. And I think she's just trying to show her pride for her culture, her roots, being black and all of that. I think that's why it was like a counterattack to the Indian culture. I don't know what Contessa was doing in that Indian outfit. So, Toya shows up as well, and she's 2 hours late. She's really snubbing Anila because how dare you show up 2 hours late? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, why 2 hours late? Were you waiting for Dr. Eugene to come home from work? Because normally, you show up to a lot of places by yourself. So it wasn't because of that. Why are you 2 hours late, Toya? So they show up 2 hours late, and Anila gives them a tour of her new house, and all the furniture, or most of the furniture in that house, which is very nice furniture, all of that was gifted to her from these companies because she's a vlogger. And I was just like, wow, that's what vlogging does for you? Oh my God. That entire, well, how many, 14,000 square foot home was nearly furnished from stuff that was gifted to her from these companies. Unbelievable. Good job, Anila. You are doing that. Okay. I wonder if Toya, I've always felt like that maybe Toya's main problem with Anila was just jealousy, just being jealous of the fact that, Anila's got it like that. She's got this really beautiful home, and, you know how Toya is. She has to keep up with the Joneses. She doesn't care that she might not have her husband around much longer, as long as he continues to work and to fund her lifestyle of keeping up with the Joneses. So there's a scene where the guys are all talking about marriage and marital problems, and Scott reliving what happened last year and all of that. And then I forgot Simone's husband's name, Cecil. I think Cecil said something like, it was either Cecil or Curtis. They're like, everybody here has had problems in their marriage except for Damien. Him and Dr. Heavenly have got like the perfect marriage. And it makes me really sad that people think that of him and Dr. Heavenly, because that just means that her antics, her crazy, crazy antics, he might think, well, this is the reason why, my marriage is what it is because, my wife is, she's insane. And it's so she's getting rewarded for acting the way she acts. Like she's being rewarded with the beautiful, perfect marriage because she's, out of this world. So yeah, Dr. Damien, he's like, yeah, I don't have any issues. My marriage is perfect. Now I really wonder, Dr. Heavily, is your marriage really perfect, or do you just know how to hide the issues better? Moving on. So, Contessa and Quad are talking, and Quad is trying to encourage Contessa to have a conversation with Dr. Heavenly, and Contessa is like, absolutely, hell to the no. I am not doing it, and I'm not doing it here. So she is not ready to talk to Dr. Heavenly, and Quad was like, what really is going on between y'all? And Contessa said she has this YouTube channel, and she likes to talk crap about me and my husband all the time, and I'm just so sick of it, and I don't think it's right, and she's supposed to be my friend. Why are you saying these things on a public forum? And so, Quad was like, just try to give her a chance. Oh, this is what Quad said. Quad said everybody makes a mistake, and Helen just made a mistake. Girl, she said these things purposely and intentionally. What mistake? I don't understand. You get on your channel, you you talk your mess to your viewers. I don't know if she's on, I guess she's on live. I don't know if she's on live or if she is um I don't know what's going on over there, but you talk your mess. Okay, the first time maybe you say something in the heat of the moment, especially if you're doing a live, you're saying something in the heat of the moment, and boom, you say something that's a little bit problematic. Okay, then you, as a reasonable, rational thinking person, you should feel some type of way about it, and then just not do it again. But I don't think, and like I said, Dr. Heavenly thinks that because she's keeping it real, because she says exactly what's on her mind, she thinks that she's somehow protected. Like, yeah, it might be offensive, but I'm keeping it real for you. And people should just swallow it and just take it. So Anila then does her Indian dance, and I thought it was adorable because it looked so awkward. She does her Indian dance, and it's like she's stomping out fires with her feet. That's how clunky she was. But it was adorable to me. I thought it was hilarious. It was so funny. I thought I could have watched her do that dance all night long. It was not long enough for me. And Dr. Simone says she ain't got no rhythm. I thought that Indian dance was hilarious. I loved it. I loved it so much. That was like the first time that Anila truly entertained me. I could have watched that dance for all night long, 3 hours, 6 hours straight. I could have watched her do that dance. It was hilarious. But thank you so much for joining me in this review. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, please subscribe, and I will definitely talk to you later. Bye.